Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Learning from My Replayers. My name is Gadget. As usual, I am bringing you one of my better highlights from my week playing StarCraft 2. This is a replay of my promotion match with the Zerg after I completed my training of it and my 5 placement matches. This is the 5th of the placement matches. This got me put into Silver 2. I'm going up against another Zerg player. I'm going up against Zorro, and I'm going to run you through the match here. Now, it's worth bearing in mind, I'm still new to the Zerg, I still get the names of things wrong, and I still get the order of things wrong, but I'm learning, which is the key thing. So let's go. So we'll put it up just on double time faster. This is a 15-minute match, it's not a particularly long one. We start off with basically building drones. So we build a drone, we build an overlord, and then we get other drones building. Zorro at this point asks me if I can give up because he wants basically an easy victory for his placement matches. I tell him he'll need to beat me if he wants to have an easy victory. I don't like to be caustic like that, but I just think it's really cheeky for people to ask. So you can see by 1 minute 10, I'm starting to build my natural, and I'm carrying on here. Zorro himself is just building overlords and drones, but not very fast, if I'm honest. What's he building with that? He's building another overlord. He's building 2 overlords and a drone by the looks of it, which doesn't make sense to me. I've got 2 extractors on the go and a spawning pool, because there's one thing about the Zerg, they're very, very thirsty for Vespene gas. So I immediately get 6 workers onto the Vespene to try and pull that in there. And as you can see, he's already beaten me on the Vespene, but I'll have 6 workers on it in a minute. He's only got the 3 workers on the 1 extractor. He does send up a drone to try and scout me out. So I take a little bit of a break in production to kill that. I am not above cheesing that kind of thing. So we send off, move my overlord out of the way because it gets annoying. We spawn a queen and spawn a second queen. And at this point, he is kind of ahead of me because he's got a roach warren and he's sending up a couple of roaches to try and fuck with me. The thing is, my spawning pool is now complete and I'm starting to spawn Zergs. Zerglings rather. The queen sees them off, just basically tells them to get fucked, and then she comes back by herself. I keep spawning Zerglings out, and drones to be fair, for my natural. And at this point he comes back in with another attack. Well, he's kind of preparing for another attack. We've got a couple of Ravagers coming in here, and this is where things start to hurt. So he kills one of my queens. I send the Zerglings in there. The thing is, Zerglings don't tend to fall prey to Ravagers that much because they can move away from those attacks. It reaches my mate and kills my other queen, but there's only 2 of them left, and I have Zerglings constantly being produced. So he seats them quite nicely. At this point, I've also got a Roach warren down, so I'm starting to produce roaches as well. And I start producing replacement queens for the 2 that have been defeated. I'll skip ahead a little bit further. So as you can see by this point, we're at kind of 5 minutes 47 here, and he's only just dropped down his natural, which is the key thing. What I've been learning as I've been playing the Zerg, people have been telling me these things, is that the whole deal with the Zerg is expand as fast as physically possible, because you need the resources, you need constant minerals and constant Vespene gas coming in, because otherwise you're not going to be able to build your advanced units, you're not going to be able to get your upgrades. I mean, he missed out crucial things like getting the metabolic boost for the Zerglings. He didn't get his lair till this point anyway. So he couldn't do the upgrades for the roaches either, other than mutate them into to whatever they mutate into. So he sends some more units in to try and get, but the Zerglings and my roaches deal with them quite nicely. I dropped down a spine crawler just for a bit of defense, because I feel that it's kind of necessary. Let's have a look down at what he's doing at this point. Ravagers, that's it. So he's got some more Ravagers coming out, but again, nothing really of note. His natural is about to spawn. He puts down a Spire so we can get aerial units, but at this point I'm producing quite large amounts of units. I also have my 2 evolution chambers for upgrades, and I'll be putting my own Spire down soon, and I get my 4th base, because I forgot to mention there that I also put a 3rd hatchery down there. and then I put a hatchery next to the main, because you can only have 3 larvae at any given time, even unless you obviously constantly use the queens to inject the hatcheries, so you need to basically just keep producing them. So because you can only have 3 at a time, you put the 4th base down next to your main, and you just kind of go. Now at this point I'm still working in the macro. I'm kind of just putting everybody here, spawning a queen for my 3rd, and then as soon as the 4th is built, I'll be spawning a queen for that, and then it's a case of getting as many drones as possible just to start mining everything. I've got workers on extractors on my 2nd. I'll be dropping extractors down on my 3rd as well. At this point he's generating 2 extractors on his natural. He's got 2 extractors on his main as well. So he's starting to catch me up. But if you can see at the resources at this point, I've got 1400 Vespene gas. I'm spending a lot on drones and Zerglings, but I'm saving this up for when I need to get the advanced units, when I need to get the flying units, stuff that is really expensive on the Vespene. So let's carry on. I'm just going to speed up a little bit more because nothing happens for a couple of minutes here. Because again, this is all about building up the army. Now he will start launching attacks with aerial units fairly soon on me. I'm keeping an eye on the mini-map there for when they start moving up. But you see, it's just a case of expansion. We're just injecting, we're just creating units, sending drones down to here. Okay, here come the aerial units, so we'll slow it back down. So he's got a few Mutalisks up, and they're going to attack my 3rd. Now at this point I don't have any aerial units. The only defense I've got against them is actually the queens. I haven't built any Hydralisks at this point either, even though I've got the Hydralisk den down. So the queens take a little bit of a hit, but then I start producing. Units that can deal with it. He took down one of my overlords, but there we go, there's my Mutalisks coming in. And because I've gotten the upgrades on some of my attacks, things seem to go a bit better for me. He sends them over to my natural. We send my Mutalisks back over. And we finish them off nicely. But he's killed another queen. And he's killed a queen down here. I'm not sure how relevant he thinks that is to be able to beat me, because then I can just generate more queens. But either way, he sends up another couple of Ravagers, and my existing army just deals with that quite nicely. So I've noticed that the queen's down, so I'm spawning another queen there, and I'm spawning another queen there. So let's speed up again, because the next push is going to be the last push. So we'll just have a look at my setup here. So we've got a lot of overlords just congregating above the hatchery. We've got a lair, we've got 3 hatcheries, we have upgrades, we have a Baneling nest has gone down, we've got spore crawlers down because obviously now that I'm aware that he's doing aerial attacks, we've got a Hydralisk den, we've got a load of extractors, spawning pool and a spire. So we've got the 4 bases. We'll go down and have a look at what he's got. He's got a lair, he's got extractors, spawning pool, spire, roach, warren. And that's about it, really. He hasn't expanded a lot, and that's what I was saying before. The whole thing with Zerg is expanding as fast as possible. In terms of the resources, I've got 2,037 Vespene, 1,500 minerals. He's got 1,700 minerals and under 500 Vespene. I've got 105 units, he's got 61, so it's not looking good from his perspective at this point in terms of units killed. I've killed 38 to his 20 of mine, I've killed 17 of his workers compared to 1 of mine. No, he's killed 17 workers. No, it's the other way around, actually. Excuse me, I've been reading that completely wrong. He's killed 38 of my units, I've killed 20 of his. He's killed 17 of my workers, I've killed 1 of his workers. That makes more sense. But that's all going to change. So if we carry on with this on faster 4, there's big old ball of Zerg here. He keeps running his units through the spine crawlers, and they're never going to get through. And the great thing about this particular map is you've got this great chokehold here ahead of your natural. Just fantastic. So I'm creating a load of banelings. Now we're just going to go on to faster for the actual attack, just to show you what's going on with it. So we'll just get a bit of faster going. because we get trapped down here, and then we actually go in. At this point, he's got his third base down, but this is all me. This is all the fun of the farm here. So he's going to send his aerial units after me. I've got Corruptors and Mutalisks. He's got Corruptors and Mutalisks as well. They are Corruptors, aren't they? Yes, they are. And we take them down nicely. No complaints here. But then after this, well, after this it's game time. We go in with the Zerglings, we go in with the Banelings, and we just go for everything. The Queen falls really quickly, and the Zerglings just start eating everything. They eat the drones, the Roaches get in on the spawning pool, the Banelings start going in, you can see them exploding, they take out the main, and that's GG's. So there you go. That's all it took. It didn't take a lot, it wasn't the hardest match I've ever played. Tactically, it probably wasn't even the best match I've ever played. The Hydralisks, you can see them running in at the back there, they barely even got a look in. But we won. So the key thing I would take, even though I'm still learning the Zerg, is expand. You can't play the Zerg without expanding, because otherwise you're either going to get yourself supply blocked, or you're going to have yourself with not enough minerals or Vespene to be able to build an army that can withstand a rollover like that. And that wasn't even a big army. I've had much bigger armies in games that I've lost. But if you enjoyed that, please do leave a like and subscribe. I will be back next week with another learning from my replays, where I'll either be Zerg or Terran. It's going to be a while before I take on Protoss, to be perfectly honest. I've got no clue how to play Protoss. But let me know what you think of this in the comments, and I shall see you next time. If you want to see me play StarCraft 2 live, you can on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Gadget8bit, and you can follow me on Twitter @Gadget8bit. For now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.